Hello everyone, welcome back to the football story. The news we've all been dreading, or some have probably been celebrating. Darwin Nunez is to leave Liverpool Football Club. The confirmation came today from Fabrizio. Liverpool have agreed a fee with Al Hilal for 53 million euros plus very good add-ons if they do come true, and it's very, very possible that he does get these add-ons. So it could potentially be even more. Just has to agree terms, which doesn't seem like it's going to be an issue. But we could be seeing the end of Darwin Nunez at Liverpool. And I can't help but feel sad, if I'm being honest. And before we get into it, I want your thoughts on it. Do you think in any other situation, Nunez might have been potentially a big success at Liverpool? Could there have been a certain way that he could have been a success? And I'll give you my thoughts now in a second. But I think we need to talk about the positives of Nunez because he did bring a lot to the team, but then also the negatives. And I think then we can talk about like what maybe happens with Nunez going forward and how Liverpool might evolve. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Nearly at 10k. We are pushing so hard right now. So really do appreciate it. Let's get into it. This man wore his heart on his sleeve. I don't think anyone can question that. He works really hard. He has ability. He 100% has ability. And sometimes it didn't come off, but I don't think it was ever from a lack of trying. I think sometimes in certain situations, when he had his confidence up, he looked so threatening. He was someone that always wanted to push himself to get in behind, to get himself those opportunities, even with all the criticism that came his way throughout his time at Liverpool. And I think if we go back to when he first came to Liverpool, the big thing with him was he was coming for such a big price tag, 85 million euros at the time. He was Liverpool's most expensive signing ever. And with that, there's always going to come pressure. Not to mention the fact that when he came in, Haaland was coming in at the same time. Then you kind of had this Liverpool-Man City rivalry. Nunez, Haaland was what we were going to hope it was going to happen. But obviously Haaland just blew everyone away in his first season. And I think that hampered Nunez in a certain way. But I think you think about like some of the memorable moments that he's had, like just to go through some of them now, like you think about his Community Shield goal when he first came in, then you think about his backheel flick against Fulham on his first Premier League debut. You think about like the Real Madrid goals with the flick as well and the backheel. You think about the Newcastle moment, the 2-1 away. I will never forget how much I screamed so hard in that moment. Then you're thinking about even 2 seasons ago, the goal against Brentford, the chip, and then when we were playing Forest away, the header in the 96th minute, whatever it was, and then even last season, he contributed in certain aspects last season when he was coming off the bench, a little bit more energy, and the 2 goals away at Brentford to basically put us in such a strong position to go on and win a league title. So he played his part in his time at Liverpool, and I think I have it here. 1 second, I'll show you. So in his time at Liverpool, 40 goals, 26 assists in 143 appearances. So you're thinking about a goal contribution every 2.5 games, more or less. For someone that costs 85 million, that is not good enough. And then we bring it on to the negative side of Darwin Nunez. The pressure, I think, that came on him from such an early point in his career, as I said earlier, I don't think it helped him. And he was never really able to deal with that pressure. The opportunities, I think, came his way. I don't think anyone can doubt that. But then when you go back and you think, like, some of the worst misses probably I've ever seen from a Liverpool player have come from Darwin Nunez. I think the Luton one, when he hits it over the bar in an open net. You think about the Aston Villa one last year when we were going for the title and it was a pretty big game and he hits the post. You think about the Man United one a couple of years ago and then we ended up getting knocked out of the FA Cup. I think that actually might have been the 2-2 draw against United. Just too many consistent missings for a player where you need someone that at that end of the pitch, especially in the big moments, and even like last season, the game against PSG, he misses that penalty and he gets knocked out of the European Cup. If that's Isak, for example, does he miss that penalty? I don't think so. And I think when you're paying that amount of money, you're paying for a club the size of Liverpool, you're wearing the number 9 jersey, all the players that have wore that jersey in years gone by, it brings a lot of pressure. But you need to be able to deal with that. And I don't think Nunez was able to deal with that. And that's, listen, some players will be able to deal with it. Some players that we've gone by have not been able to. And he was just one of those players. I don't think it was ever not from a lack of trying. He always gave his all, and I think that's all you can ask from a player. If a player like downs tools, doesn't want to play for the club, then that's when you start to get a little bit worried. That's when you start to get a little bit of frustration. But I don't think Nunez ever did that. I think the fans did back him a lot, and there was a bit of cagey moments. Like I remember he took Liverpool out of his bio. He's since put that back in. He's had a good preseason this year, but I think overall for him to progress in his career, and he's coming into 25, 26, I don't think Al Hilal is the right option for him, to be honest. I think he's better off playing in Europe. But if he feels like that's the decision and he's more kind of money motivated, who are we to question that? It's a player's choice. Whatever he wants to do, Liverpool are happy to take the money from the Saudis. And if it suits all parties, then he's well within his right to do that. In terms of like next steps for him with that as well, like if he does make this move to Al Hilal, is this kind of the end of Nunez's career in a sense? Like obviously he is taking the money. He's not going to progress his career. Obviously he's still playing for Uruguay, and I think he still will play for Uruguay even when he's over there. But he could go over for maybe 2 years, take a little bit of pressure off himself, and he could come back at like say 28. And it is a sad end for someone that I think a lot of Liverpool fans had a lot of ambition and a lot of hope for maybe someone that could lead this line for years to come. Just hasn't worked out like that. Ekitike and Isak are probably going to be the likely options now up front if this deal does go through with Isak. I think they're probably more suited to leading this Liverpool team, especially with, you think about when Nunez came in, he could obviously rely on Salah, so those misses weren't as big. But now with Salah getting a little bit older, you need someone that's going to be able to take that mantle, and I don't think that was Nunez, even though we all hoped that it would be. But it is sad. It is very, very sad. But let me know what you think in the comments. How disappointed are you that Nunez didn't work out? Is it the right moment to sell him, or should Liverpool keep him? I think most people will agree that we should sell him at this moment for the amount of that we're getting for him. But yeah, sad times, lads. Sad times. But if you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. On the way to 10k. We'll probably get there by, I'd say, a couple of months. But yeah, I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you all in the next one.